Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trailblazers and trailblazerettes, gather around and prepare yourselves, for tonight we journey once more into the Design Gazette, the show where we get to explore the most scientific, the most poetical, and most elegant aspects of your favorite characters' designs. Tonight, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce you to a luminary whose mind is a beacon in this vast universe of knowledge, unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos with a keen intellect and insatiable curiosity. Yet, even beyond the confines of a laboratory and equations, she's a maestro of a different kind, an artiste whose canvas is woven with words and notes, culture and tradition, elegance and unity. As we gather in this moment, we are not only in the presence of a distinguished biologist, but also in the company of someone whose very soul resonates with the elegance, poetry, and the harmony of music. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ruan Mei!
My name is Ruan Mei. When saying my name, please don't run the syllables together.
Well, my apologies for that, Miss May. However, before we get into the nitty-gritty, my dear audience, I would like you to take a moment to cast a spell of appreciation by hitting that like button, sending me a
eternal melody
down below, and be sure to subscribe for more videos breaking down all the details of your favorite sociopath waifus. And with that, let's jam. On a planet of frost, where the icy winds play, lived a little girl where the snowflakes would sway. A family of science, stars in their gaze, on an icy planet in a cosmic maze. Mother, a scientist with eyes so bright. Father, a dreamer of the celestial light. In a dome of crystal where science would unfurl, they nurtured a wonder, the heart of a little girl. In that tiny heart, a curiosity bloomed, a thirst for science yet unconsumed. In that laboratory of snowflakes and dreams, her parents would unravel life's intricate schemes. Microscopes aimed at wonders so small, and in the dance of those atoms, the girl found her core. Life sciences is a very broad term that encompasses a range of many scientific disciplines. However, they are all focused on one single thing, and that is the study of all living organisms and their interactions with everything around them. It is often used interchangeably with the term biology. However, life sciences can extend beyond biology to include other disciplines that investigate various aspects of living systems, such as ecology, genetics, zoology, environmental sciences, etc., etc. It actually plays a crucial role in expanding our knowledge of living beings from the molecular level to entire ecosystems, and has practical applications in fields such as medicine, agriculture, and conservation. In the universe of Star Rail, the leading expert in the field of life sciences is Ruan Mei, who has been studying life forms ever since she was a child. She actually earned a place as a member of the Genius Society after displaying a terrifying talent and perseverance towards the study of life.
After catching the attention of Noose, I left my hometown and began my research on the origin of life in a secret corner of the universe. Please don't ask where.
Now, on the surface, when it comes to her design, she looks far removed from the standard scientist getup. No lab coats and goggles here, folks, but there are some underlying aspects of her design that represent Ruan Mei's chosen field of study. To begin with, there is the copywriting of her kit, which makes mention of respiration, somatotypes, and neurons, all terms which can be found in the related fields of biology and physiology. However, the more obvious indication of her field of study has to be the double helix motif that runs throughout her design. The double helix is a symbol often associated with the molecular structure of DNA, which carries genetic information in all living organisms. First described in the 1950s, the double helix has since become the symbol of genetics, biology, and the DNA code. Hence, you've probably seen it in every movie involving genetic enhancement. You can find the double helix in the symbols of her kit, the garter on her leg, the pins in her hair, and the patterns of her dress. As a symbol, the intricate structure of the double helix is often seen as a thing of beauty in its complexity. It highlights the elegance and sophistication of nature's design, which can also extend to how Ruan Mei presents herself. More than that, it serves as a core part of her character, as DNA is the fundamental building blocks of life. And as we know, Ruan Mei is described as a master of genetic creation and manipulation. From plants to species to entire planets, she has used these very same building blocks to dabble in countless organic creations. However, organics are not the only creative pursuits Ruan Mei indulges in. In the quiet where the sorrows dwell, rings the toll of the funeral bell. Black-clad grace, hair tied with care, expression veiled in that same ink-black hair, her mother's guidance, a lingering glow, her father's laughter, a distant echo. They let me down, she softly confessed. I let them down too, her heart distressed. Only science stood by her in this world of despair, as there was no burden that science would share. She immersed herself in calculations, day and night, forgetting the world lost in her research light. In this laboratory's silent empty space, she desperately sought a parent's embrace. Due to her extensive knowledge on the Aeon of the Hunt, her aesthetic style, and the name, Ruan Mei is heavily implied to originate from the Xianzhou Luo Fu, or at least another vessel related to it, and as such, a lot of her design inspirations can be found in Chinese culture. The silhouette of her dress is that of a qipao, with the finer details being indicative of high Chinese society. The pearls around the neck and the gloves, for example, were seen as symbols of elegance and sophistication that complemented traditional clothing. They were often worn in more formal events to convey attentiveness and consideration, reflecting the importance of social etiquette in Chinese culture. Furthermore, the influence of Chinese culture is not just skin deep, but also extends to Ruan Mei's various hobbies and interests. Traditionally, upper-class Chinese pastimes are not only sources of entertainment, but also serve to cultivate cultural refinement. Things such as gardening, tea hosting, embroidery, poetry, and attending operas were all common hobbies in traditional Chinese culture, which, incidentally, or not, are all of Ruan Mei's hobbies. Gardening comes part and parcel when creating organic life, tea hosting is something she regularly conducts for the Genius Society, embroidery is one of her listed hobbies, and poetry is the style used for the copywriting of her kit and how she addresses her in her trailer. The sheer amount of creative pursuits Ruan Mei engages in all point to just how flexibly creative she is, despite her recluse nature. In fact, her weapon in combat is yet another artistic tool that was used in traditional Chinese operas. The instrument in question is a lute with a fretted neck, a circular body, and 4 strings, called a ruan. Yes, you heard it here, she is in fact named after an instrument. I myself am called the Guitar Crusader. So, the question I hear you ask, my darling audience, is that if Ruan has a meaning, does Mei have one too? Well, I'm glad you asked.
In the grand fabric of life, both parents are equal, and thus my name combines the surnames of each of my parents.
Mei originates from the term Mei Hua, a Chinese flower better known in English as the plum blossom. Plum blossoms are 5-petal flowers that bloom in late winter and very early spring. Because of how they're perceived as well as their beauty, plum blossoms have become beloved in Chinese culture and are depicted everywhere in Eastern art, from poetry to music to wall scrolls. As to the reason why the plum blossom became so popular, it has to do with the many concepts and philosophies the flower represents. For one, the plum blossom is admired for its clean and simple petal shape that is just stunning to look at, and as such, the flower is often associated with purity, simplicity, and elegance. However, despite the simple and clean beauty, the flower is also admired as a symbol of perseverance because of how it blooms vibrantly in the late winter, even amid the cold and harsh conditions. As such, it symbolizes resilience and the ability to overcome adversity even in the darkest of times, making it a very hopeful and uplifting flower. However, more than anything, the plum blossom is a flower that represents life. Plum blossoms have a short blooming period, usually just a week or two, and they often arrive at the tail end of winter before the wilting at the start of spring. This fleeting beauty is often seen as a metaphor for the transient nature of life itself. The flower marks the end of winter and the beginning of a fresh start, representing the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Thanks to this, many Chinese poets would often wander out in the cold night to observe the plum blossoms with a bottle of wine, thus creating a tradition of crafting poetry under a moonlight filled with plum blossoms, contemplating the meaning of our fleeting lives. Through the course of study and experimentation, Ruan Mei has discovered many secrets about the makeup of life, so much so that she could even create her own artificial life forms. However, eventually she came to the realization that no matter what organic tissue something is made out of, it would eventually come to an end. After all, what is life without the presence of death? After that, it all became simple to her. Birth, growth, death, everything from genetics to emotions could simply be broken down into laws and rules that all led to the same outcome, with the only exception being the aeons. Aeons don't follow the laws of life that Ruan Mei studied. They are born of wonder, they do not resist, and they do not grieve. Aeons are a form of life untouched by any other, and one that Ruan Mei one day hopes to study and maybe even achieve. However, that is where she is fundamentally wrong. What Ruan Mei really wants isn't the secrets to life or the chance to become an Aeon. Rather, what she truly seeks is a feeling of wonder. The feeling she had when she first discovered new organic life forms on that scientific trip with her parents. A feeling she lost long ago with their passing, and one that she kept on losing with every discovery she made. She longs to be surprised again. She wants to see something not go according to calculation and be filled with wonder and awe like she was all those years ago. Because wonder is the feeling that takes her back to that fleeting time she had with her beloved parents. She might want to feel love, but the pain of losing a loved one is no better than that of betrayal. so she locked herself up in the one place that no one would betray her. But even then, more often than not, lab results are underwhelming. After all, you cannot forge emotions under a microscope of chemical reactions. It requires trust and a leap of faith, one that Ruan Mei is too traumatized to take. Nevertheless, there is still some hope. In the labyrinth of equations, a scientist lost. In the corridors of knowledge, at a heavy cost. Through the nebulous realms of a cosmic expanse, a hero ventured an adventure with a chance. The Trailblazer emerged, a beacon so bright, to rescue the scientist from the endless night. Trailblazers and Trailblazerettes, I hope you enjoyed this scientific examination of Ruan Mei's design. If you found yourself captivated by the science we've explored today, don't forget to wield your light cone of appreciation by hitting that like button, subscribing to this humble Crusaders channel, and inviting your friends to witness the next chapter of our grand adventure. Feel free to share your thoughts, your dreams, your musings of Ruan Mei down in the comment section below. And until we next meet, may you make new scientific discoveries, may you experience stellar jade recoveries, and may your journey lead you ever starward.
Every petal in life's garden will be swept away by the wind of time.